this to mobile so you can see how it will look on a mobile phone. Ah, looks like I can't do that over Zoom. Don't know why. Let me try that again. Uh, okay, you can. So this is how it looks like on a mobile device. And let's say I want to create something like this, or I want to put out some information. It is best to section your designs sometimes. It gives for, like, when you make it short like this, like now we have just a page without so much information, another page, another one. Just, it keeps people engaged. Now it helps create more engagement when you are looking at information on Insta. It could be on Instagram, it could be on Facebook, whatever platform you are using. But the thing is that people do not like to, you know, come to social media and start reading a whole load of text on, on anyone's page. You know what I'm saying? Because people come to there are three reasons basically that people come to the internet. They come for information, education, and entertainment, right? So people want to be informed, educated, and entertained. And most people have what we call short attention span. So if we have, let's say, so much bogus, text or information on just on just uh, on just one design, it could get them easily distracted. So what we want to do is, once we there's a way to go about putting out so much information. We section them into carousels, right? Carousels. So uh, we have let's go to our project. We have this. I already took a screenshot. So we have something like this. So we have this, right? And this is page one of this design. Then we have another page, which is page two, page three, and so on and so forth. The whole point is just to section your information into different pages. Yeah, into different pages to allow for better reading and better engagement. We want to show how to achieve that on Photoshop. The first thing you want to do is come to your Photoshop, then come to new, right? New file. Come to new file. Now we have so another thing is, when you are designing, you want to know the platforms you are designing for, right? You want to know the platforms you're designing for. If you're designing for Instagram, I think we discussed this earlier. Instagram have a specific dimension for optimal viewing when you want to design. So if you want it to look very, very good on Instagram, you don't use a square, right? It's not a 1:1 ratio, or 1:1 ratio rather. Instagram has its own ratio for designs. Also, Twitter or X would have its own ratio for design. We also have Facebook. I don't know if Facebook have its own ratio anyways. I don't think so. I think you can use basically anyone on Facebook. But Instagram, LinkedIn, Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter have their specific design ratio. So to get that, you just go to Google and put it image or dimensions. You can use dimensions for Instagram posts. So for Instagram posts, okay, so here they said for Instagram posts, they said for the square posts is it means the Insta can also work with a 1:1 aspect ratio, which is 1080 pixel by 1080 pixel. If you want to go with um if you want to go with the vertical image, which is what I like to use, and which is what most agencies, right, use. You want to go with 1080 by 1350. So it's all on. You can always get this info online. Though after this class, I'll just put it in the document and open on the drive. We have for if you want for Twitter, right? For
We are not hearing of. We are not hearing, sir.
can you hear me now, please?
Yeah, now see, now yes.
All right, sorry about that. So I was saying that for the sake of for if you want dimensions for every platform, it can be gotten with a simple Google search. So if you are designing for LinkedIn, you can get it on LinkedIn here. For Instagram, just Insta, you get it. For what's it called? For for Twitter also, you can get the dimension for Twitter here. Now, um, we want to we want to we want to design something for Instagram now. So you come to your Photoshop. I remember we're trying to create carousels, right? We're trying to create carousels. So what we want to do is we want to come to your Photoshop and create a new file. Now you come to your preset details. So let's rename this carousel. Carousel for Insta, right? Carousel for Insta. Now we want to impute our dimension. Remember for Instagram, we have 1,000, sorry, we have 1080 by 1350. So you don't want to toggle this. If you toggle this, it means that you are changing this to landscape. It now becomes, in fact, I'll show it to you. So if you leave it this way, right? Because the width is the is this part, why the height is the other part. The width is vertical, is horizontal, the height is vertical. So if you leave it as in portrait mode, this is how it goes. And this is what we want. But if you leave it, if you come and toggle it and change here to this or that, you pick this or that one here, right? What happens is that it becomes landscape, which is the other way. And this is not what we're looking for. So you always want to make sure that you have it set to this one here. Okay. Now remember, we are trying to create, we are creating carousels, right? A carousel, which is layered up post. So what you want to do is this artboard you have here, you want to toggle that on. And I think every other thing is okay. And just create. Okay. Now, when you have that done, what you want to do is you want to click on your artboard or on your canvas, right? You click on your canvas, then you come to your move tool here, which is the first tool here. Your move tool, then you right click and you come to artboard tool. So again, what you want to do is you press your like you click on your artboard or on your canvas, then you come to your move tool, which is on your toolbox, on your toolbar, right click, and then you get the artboard tool. Now, say you want to, obviously before you start designing, most times you'd have your information already sectioned out, right? Already written down. Now you know that for this design you are making, it is going to be let's say 3 carousels. You're making a 3 carousel design. So what you want to do is you want to come to this plus icon here, right? The plus icon here, and you click on it. 1, 2. So now you have 3 canvases or 3 different canvases on your artboard, right? Or 3 different artboards on your canvas, either of them. The point is you can now section them in your canvas. But say you want more and you want to have a view. Let's say you want to know how it's going to look when it is, let's go to Instagram for example. Look at Instagram now. Instagram is 1, 2, 3, right? That's how it appears on mobile. Let's see how it appears on a pad. Let's say an iPad Pro. So it's still 3 on an iPad Pro. Let's see how it appears on, let's say, a Galaxy Fold. It's still 3. So it means that when okay, then let's see how it appears on the desktop. Still 3. So you want to know how it would appear on the home page on your feed. You can still click here, and click here. Sorry. And click here. So now you now have 6 of your artboards on your canvas. Very easy. So what you want to do now is, but like I said, we are designing for 3 artboards, so I'm going to undo that. Remember to undo, you just press Ctrl V, Ctrl Z, or Command Z if you're using the Mac. So now that we are done with our artboard creation, what you want to do is you want to come to your layers panel, right? Open it up. So now, if you design anything you design here under artboard 1 shows up here. Anything you design under artboard 2 shows up here. And anything you design under artboard 3 shows up here. Okay, So let's design something very quick. So just to show you how to section those kind of information on on your artboard. Let's look at this content. So we have common branding tips, right? Common branding tips. People, okay. So we want to put this piece of information, this one and this one, on the artboard, right? So we want to put this one, and this one on the artboard. In fact, let's make it 4, right? So we're going to end up with this last one here, right? So let's make it 4. So we'll put the first one. This is the first piece of information. The second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So we go back to Photoshop and create an extra artboard. So just create it here. So we have 4 now. The first thing we want to do is obviously work on the background. So what I like to do is that, so I don't mess it up, when I'm designing on one artboard, what you want to do is, when you are working on one artboard, what you want to do is you always want to make sure that the other artboard are locked. So I'll lock from 2 to 4 for now. Look at this lock key here. Just click on it and it is locked. The reason is so that when you are designing on this place, it doesn't affect the other part of your artboard. So let's say I want let's start with a background. We come to, remember in the last class I showed you a free website where you can get what assets. Now the main website, like I said, is Envato, but Envato is quite pricey, right? So for your practices, you want to use, in fact, Envato is not the main website, but FreePic is also a website where you can subscribe for, right? But Envato is where you get in my opinion, the most premium kind of assets for your design. So what we are using here is FreePic for the purpose of this design, of this class. Now, say you want a background. So you can just search black background, or let's say black cotton or silky. Let's use silky background. So black silky background. Okay, so we have, let's say we want to go with this one here. Remember, the first thing you want to always place on your design is your background. So you have a foundation to design whatever it is you want to design. So I'll download this, downloaded, come to my file, open it up. Okay. So this is the file here. So I'll come to Photoshop. Now there's another way to move your files to Photoshop. You don't always have to come to place and place the file. You can also just drag and drop it. So let's say this is my software, Photoshop. Sorry, open it up slightly. I can just drag this and drop it here. So you can just drag this and copy it here. And it copies. It opens up. For some reason, I don't know why that is not showing. It has something to do with my Windows anyways. My Windows. But if you have a Windows that allows that, I heard Windows 11 does not allow that. But if you have other Windows or updated versions of your Windows, you can just come here, right? Drag this. And okay, it has actually worked now. So, and you just have it in your software. What you want to do now is you just drag it up to cover your background. So now we have our background, right? I like dark background. So we can come here, lock this background, right? Lock it out. Then put in your text. How what was that information again that we had there? We had common branding tips, right? Common branding tips. So common branding myths, sorry. Or let's use common brand myths. Myths. It's quite big, so we just reduce the size of our font. So either drag it down or just reduce it. So I'm dragging it down. So you drag it down. And then when you are working on carousels, it depends on what you're working on, but if you're going to have a very bold text, you always want to make sure it is aligned to the left. Now, there's a reason for this. When you align something, let's say you are designing something now, and you align it to the right, this way. It's aligned here. There's something with the human eye and the human brain. The human brain, is would I say programmed to read text from the left to the right. Maybe unless you are Arabic, but most times we tend, even subconsciously, to read text from the left to the right. It's always best to align your text to the left, right? It just feels a whole lot more natural that way. Now, when you are working on vertical canvases like this one or artboards like this one, it's vertical, right? Remember the other one that I give an example of? This one is horizontal, but this is vertical, right? It is always best for for optimization. It's always best to use a condensed font, right? A thick condensed font as opposed to something like this. If you have something like this, for example, this is not a thick condensed. If you have something like this, it is not very solid for a design like this. So you want to use something that is condensed. And by that, I mean something like this. There's this force called Go Bold. Go Bold. Let's look for it. Just a sample. So this is what I'm talking about. Something like this, right? So something like this. Just for for you to have that just the reason why is that it covers up here. It covers up it gives a very solid feel to your design when you're working on. I think that's my preference when you're working on a vertical artboard. So you want to use something that also looks vertical in a sense, right? Just for optimization. Now let me show you some other samples. It doesn't have to be Googled. You can check thefonts.com to get free fonts on thefonts.com. Free fonts on thefonts.com. So how do I minimize this? Okay, yeah. So you can come here and search for condensed font. Condensed. Condensed. Or just come to Google and search condensed font. Then add that font. So this is another example of something that is condensed. It is just, condensed. So going back to our design. So common branding tips. I want to change this logo to another okay, go bold. Let's use this one. Go bold. Yeah. Obviously, you can so let's create. Say you want to put in you have a logo that you want to put in here. You can obviously come here, place the logo somewhere. There was a logo I was working on recently. Let's say my logo is let us use this one. Let's use this icon, the LinkedIn icon as the logo, just for the purpose of this design. Now, remember, if your brand theme, or if the theme, or your brand color, if it is blue, or whatever color it is, in my case, it is dark blue, you can always change your logo to that. So you come to layers and color overlay. You want to overlay the color. So this is my sorry. Obviously, you can always change your logo to you can always put in the color that you want there. Now, say we have you can put maybe a piece of information here. So okay. So let me show you something here. Look at this. Look at this rectangle now, or this triangle rather. This triangle, right? It's a triangle, but let's say we want to turn it to an arrow. There's a way to do that. We just do it this way, like rotate it until it gets to 90 degrees. Or better still, you can just come up here to this angle here, up here, and just put in 90, and it turns, right? So it automatically becomes an arrow. Or you can still Control T, then right click and rotate 90 degree clockwise, also an arrow. Or so if you do it anti-clockwise, it becomes an arrow turning the other way. All right. So that's one way to create arrows on Photoshop. Another way to do that is to come to your rectangle tool or your tool here, your shape tool here, and come to line. And this is line, right? So you come to your line tool. Then when you come to your line tool, you come to this gear icon here, or the settings icon. You want to click on it. So if you want your arrow or your arrow to have arrowhead front, like at the beginning and at the ending, you toggle on this one and toggle on this one, right? And you can now change your width, length, and concavity to whoever you want it to be. When you do that, this is what happens, right? This is what happens. So say I want it to be much bigger. I'll first of all increase the width. And then, yeah, you have this. So the width affects only the line, the straight line. So we want it to be much smaller. So let's take it to like 5. And you come back here to settings and then increase the width of your arrowhead to say 19. And you have this, right? You have something like this. Now remember, if you want your arrow to have just one arrowhead, you want to just come back here, come to settings and toggle off the end. So it's just the head that would have, or the tab that will have an arrowhead. And there you go. Obviously, you can just rotate this whatever way you want, and you're good to go. The point is that there are various ways to work with your arrow or to create your arrow. You can also do this and still have your rectangle tool and just create this, just add this to it, right? It is still an arrow. So the whole point is for you to be creative with whatever you are doing. You have the basic tools, so it's not left for you to put in those tools to create something magical. So let's go back to our design. We want an arrow to be here. An arrow to be here just for saying, for swiping. I can say, can copy this down. I say swipe right. How do you swipe? Right. This is left and this is right. So swipe left. But there's no need, in my opinion, there's no need to even put the direction of the swipe. Everyone knows where to swipe once they're on their device. So let's just put swipe, just so they know it's a multi-page document. And then you can just decrease it. Obviously, change the font to something else, a regular kind of font. I like Poppins. Let's use Poppins. I use Poppins almost all the time. Poppins is a very modern font that I can wear almost every hat you want it to wear. So swipe here. I want to put guide here and here. So swipe. Then you just create the arrow here. But in this case, I just want this kind of arrow. Just something like this. And you just probably here. 19. Okay, now that's one way to go about having your icon. So this could be an icon. That's one way to go about having your icon. Again, if you need to save time, right? And I believe we all want to save time. If you need to save time, I just have to show us how to get it done by ourselves. If you want to save time, you can just easily come to Platicon, right? And when you come to Platicon, you just type the icon you're looking for. Say you want an arrow too. Arrow. It gives you various still loading. It gives you various options to download an arrow, right? So say you want something like this one. It looks quite fancy. So you download it. So you want to download the PNG. Download. Free download. Now when you download, because it is free on this website, they want you to attribute the author of this arrow you're downloading. So you want to copy this and paste it on. Let's say you make a post. So you want to copy this and say, okay, I got this design asset from this particular website. And just add this link directly. So you copy it and add it. So after downloading, have you downloaded that? So after downloading, you come to your Photoshop again. File, place embedded. Okay, you did not download that. Let's download that now. So download, PNG, copy. So re-download. Okay. So we have it downloaded. So come back to your Photoshop, file, place embedded, and there you have it. You have your arrow. You just want to take it down and change. I want to change the color, obviously. So come to your layer, layer panel, then effect, color overlay. Okay, so there you go. You have that. So it's quite simple. So this other one, you can delete it. Then you add this other one. Okay. So after that, you can obviously put whatever piece of information you want on this design. So let's move on to the next page. Let's go to the next page. What you want to do is also this, you want to unlock this artboard 2, you want to unlock it. Then this one here, this background you have here, you need to come here, it's still here. So you unlock it from here first of all. And then you can just press and hold Alt to copy it into this other artboard. You just drag it and then this other artboard. As simple as that. So you have the same background, right? Well, personally, I feel that is a stressful way of going about it, right? So something else you can do is that you can just design your first one first of all. You can design your first artboard. And after designing your first artboard, you just copy. I'll show you what to do. You just come here, copy from the beginning to end. Copy it, Control C, press Control C. Then you come to artboard 2 and press Control V. So now you have copied the same things there. Now those things that you don't need from there, you just start to do what? You just start to delete them. So it's not that you don't need them. Let's say you want to change this one now. Then you have common brand name. You can put here number one or one. can put one here. So one brand myth is that customer loyalty is dead. So let's use that one. Let's put it customer loyalty. Or sorry, consumer, not customer, consumer loyalty is dead. That's a brand myth. So basically, consumer loyalty is dead means that people don't care about being loyal to a brand anymore. Is what people say. Like as long as they don't get value or from that particular company or brand, they will not be loyal to them again. But there are theories that to argue that or that contest that. We can do something like this. Let's change this one to popping. Now, mind you, I talked about the condensed font for this page because this page is the what? This page is the cover page, more or less. Is the page where people will see before they start reading, just like this one here. So it's this page here, right? So people want it has to be bold. The first page has to be bold, so people can see what they're reading very, very clearly. Don't use a handwritten font here or a decorative font. You want to use a font that is very bold. So that's the idea. But after that, the next one doesn't have to be like the first one, as you can see here. The next one can just be a regular legible font. So that's what we're going to do. So let's say, so we change this one to popping. We change this one to popping. Consumer, consumer loyalty is dead. So you come here, under your characters here, there's something that you have here. You have this third CT. It means that when it is doubled on, all your letters will be in all caps. But that's not what we want in this case. So we want to untoggle that. Now you have it this way. So consumer loyalty is dead. I remember in your carousels, you can, depending on what you're designing for, you can add various objects or elements to your carousels. It doesn't have to be just text. It can be images, it can include images, symbols, just design as required. Just put what's required in your design. So in this case, we want to put this. You can just
Recording. I've stopped though.
so you can just
Yeah,
change
it's
it
okay.
back.
It's recording live on YouTube. You'll
Okay.
get it on YouTube.
You can just take this to the back, right? And so when you are designing carousels, another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your lines, your guides. I put the guides here, but for some reason they disappeared. So you want to make sure that your guides are always in place. Also, that everything is going to be Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to make sure that your guides are always in place so that where this logo is now, this LinkedIn logo we have here, for example, this one we have here. So in your carousels, the purpose of these guides now is that this guy here, this logo here, you want it to be kept here, right? So you also want to make sure that the other one too, they're the same points. You know what I'm saying? They're the same points here. You can also add one here just to make sure they're all aligned. They're all aligned. So even here too, you have the swipe. So you can use it to know if your swipe here is on the same position. So we're going to move this up a little bit. That's how guys can help you. Now, after putting up the information we want on this page, you can also come here and okay, so you can also come here to our layer, come to our layer, unlock it, then like we did, copy here to here, copy it out, come to your artboard 2, sorry, artboard 3 this time, artboard 3 this time. So we want to lock artboard 1 now, because we're done with it. You come to artboard 2, copy it out, copy, and then come to artboard 3 and just paste the same thing. So you now have that here. So you can now change this to 2. You can just change this to 2 now. 2. 2. So what's the other meat we have? Okay. Branding. I see branding. Sorry. Is sorry, we want that to be in a branding. Branding is not advertising, right? So branding is not advertising, is another one there. So you can just have that. You can include that info that you have there. And for the last one, I'll just copy only the background because that's what we're going to use, just the background. So I'll lock this and then come here. Okay. Okay, now for the last one, what we want to do is we want to design something like this that we have here. So this is another chance to that we have here. You know what? Before we design this last page, I want us to design to look at this one here, to look at this rectangle that we have here, just showing you how to recreate it, right? This rectangle we have here is just a dashed line rectangle. So say you want to recreate that here instead of using this one that we use here. Say we're trying to recreate that here. What you just do is you come to your rectangle here, right? Come to your rectangle, come to your fill, and make sure you're on no fill or no color, which is this red icon, this white icon with a red slash. So you click on that. When you click on that, you come to stroke. And let's make the stroke say 3 pixels. 3 pixels. After that, you just come to this other bar here and make it a dashed line stroke. Dashed line stroke. So let's change our stroke color to blue. Right? So you can see it here. That's what we have here. So that's what we have here, right? But the other one is a bit, the one we have here is a bit curved, right? So you can just curve it also. You just drag here, like the border radius, you just curve it out. Just drag it how you want it to be. And also come here, change the stroke color to white if you want that, or whatever color works for you. Let's make it smaller. So the whole point is for you to just play around with the tools. The whole tool, the tools, they're all there. So this is just me showing you how to, just in case you want yours to be like this, like we have in the other design. This is how to achieve that. It's quite easy. The obviously this color you have here, the blue color that we have here at the back is simply just creating a rectangle. It's simply just creating a rectangle and just drawing it. Make sure it is behind the text. That's why it can work. Make sure it is behind. If it's above the text, this is how it's going to look, right? So make sure it is behind the text. That's just how to go about that. So I want us to design the last one. The last one, I'll show you and export it. And after that, we'll now design what we call seamless carousels. Seamless carousels. So this is the last page, right? So we have something like this. If you see how this one is starting, how here is starting out, you see that here, there's a glowing light that is coming from this side here. So to achieve that, I'll come back to our project here to show us something. Look at this this guy here. You can see he's in a background where there's glowing light also, right? This is basically a circle, but it's like a glowing light. So I'll show you how to achieve that. Yeah. So to do that, you want to come to the edge. Now, this is how I used it, but you can apply it to whatever design you want it to be on. So you want to come here to the edge and just draw a rectangle, right? A rectangle here that is just at the edge of your yeah, just here. And when you do that, you then want to come to your layers, right? Layers, then let's close out the other layers. Let's lock this out. You want to come here and come to your blending options here and come to outer glow. Yeah, outer glow. When you outer glow it, you change it to the same color, right? Change here to change the same color. Then you want to change your blend mode to normal, right? And then you come down to the elements bar or tab and increase the spread a little bit. Then play with the size. Depends on what you want or how you want it. I want the range to be around here. Let's see the jitter. So I like to leave it as, in this case, leave it as softer just so it gives a more natural effect, glow effect. Can also change just the opacity a little bit. I think this is too much. Let's take it down a little bit. The spread. Okay. So basically that's how to achieve your glow. It's quite simple, right? That's how to achieve that glow there. It's quite simple. Now there's something else. There's something else. For you to still look even more natural, what you might want to do is you you see that this the edges of this rectangle is looking too sharp. So you want to blow it out a little bit. So you're going to you're going to come to filter, they come to blur, then Gaussian blur. So ask you to either rasterize or convert to smart object. So convert it to a smart object. Yes. And then now you can just play around with the blur. So you see, it's now looking even more natural. It's not looking like a natural glow. So I think this is okay. You can change the opacity just to match what you want. I think this is fine. And there you go. You have that glow that seems like a light is coming out from, or a saber light, or a saber, how do you call it? It's coming out from that edge. So moving on to the next one. Moving on to the next one, we now want to design the last part of the. So now, when you are doing carousels, when you are doing carousels, when you're working on carousels, the idea is that after showing them a piece of information, you also want to sell yourself, right? You want to sell yourself at the end of the post. So if somebody was interested enough to check all the posts and get your last one, you want to make sure you get the chance to sell yourself, right? So you just want to put out the maybe your personal information or your company information at the ending of the carousel, not at the beginning, at the ending, just for people to be able to connect with you. That's what I did in this case. So I'll come to how I achieve that particular design. How I achieve that design. Let me just place it here to show it to you. So how I achieve this is quite simple. Let me drop this here. I want to recreate this here now. So to do this here, I want to file. I'll get a picture like this. Let's use another picture. Let's use we want to use, say, I want to use let's use this very beautiful lady here. Okay. So you come here, place embedded. So it's quite big. That's why it's like this. So just decrease it a little bit. Just decrease. Keep dragging until it becomes very small. I'll show you something here. Now, when you import an image, it always comes in as a smart object. Most times, it comes in as a smart object. So look at this now. So you can see that this is a smart object, as you can see here, right? It's a smart object. Now, if you let's make this the reason why it is important to always have it as smart objects that if you have it this way now and you make it very small, right? If it is a smart object and you make it very small, it is fine. If you make it very, very big, it is still fine. And you see that no details have been lost. It is still the pictures still have the same quality. But if you say you rasterize this picture, for example, come to layers and you rasterize it. So let's assume it is not a smart object anymore. And then you can see the details here right now. You can see it is still intact. But if you now make it smaller, and make it bigger again, you see that the details has been lost. You can see it has been lost. So it is always best to keep your images as a smart object when you can. What we are trying to do now is we want to take away the background. So to do that, you just need to make sure it is big, first of all, as big as you want it to be, first of all. Now that it is big, you can then rasterize it. Because the idea is that if you rasterize it there and make it smaller and bigger, you lose your detail. But if you rasterize it and make it bigger and leave it as a very big file, you are not going to lose the detail. So now that it is big, we are going to rasterize. Now, the point is that why we are rasterizing is because we cannot alter the background without rasterizing. That's why it's appearing like this. You can see. So let us rasterize first of all. So to rasterize, just come to here, right click, and then come to rasterize layer. So it has been rasterized now. Now that we have that taken care of, you just come to properties. Where's properties? So properties, quick actions, remove background. Okay, so we have the background taken care of. Let's see. We have it taken care of. What you want to do now is we're going to drag it to the side. Drag her to the side. And then convert it to a smart object again. Just so we don't lose quality when we are making it bigger and smaller. That's the reason. So right click and convert to smart objects. So we don't lose the quality when we're making it bigger and smaller. So now that it is a smart object, you just make it as big as you want. And then, okay. So we have this background at the back. We want it to be this color. We're going to take it to the back also, to our back here. And I will have that. We want to also, sorry, not pattern overlay. We want to use the outer glow again to make it glow out. Give it that glow effects. Change the color to the main color. And now you have that outer glow effect, right? So you can see. Now, when you have this done, you can see there's a way to go about this, right? You can either how I'll do it is that I'll come to look at the main image here, my own image here. You can see that it's as if I am sinking into a soft well, something soft just below me. So I want to recreate that here so it doesn't look like she's just floating or you cut her body. So what you want to do is you come to the layers panel and come to create a layer. You can see create layer, new layer. When you create new layer, you come to this tool here. It's called the gradient tool, right? The gradient tool. Remember when we're doing a gradient overlay, we saw how the gradient tool work. So gradient is the spectrum of colors. So we have maybe white at the beginning and we have black at the ending, and it's just a spectrum of colors like that. So I'll come to the gradient tool and I'll come to basics, the first one. Now this one we have here that has the blue, this one at the center here is what I'm choosing. It means that here there is no color here. Why here there is blue, right? It means here there's no color, but here there's blue. But if you have it this way, okay, let's say let's use purples, or let's use pinks. Okay, if you have it this way, it means that here is one pink shade, while here is another shade of pink. But here, it means here is blue, here there is no color. So I want to use something like this. I'm going to edit this. I'll edit it. Let's change the color. Let's change here to, now to edit it there, you just double click on it to edit it. I'll change the color here to black. Why I'll leave here as it is, then I'll press OK. What you want to do is make sure that you are still on this new layer that you created, and then you just drag from up to down. Or in this case, you drag from down to up. I'll don't do that. You want to press Control. So what you do, you press Control and you click on the icon here. Sorry. Or better still, when you create this layer, something else you can do is you can just select this. I was trying to select the whole. You select it, the whole page. To select it is just to drag. You can see just to drag and just drag around to select the whole artboard. Then make sure that you are on this layer here. Then come back to your gradient tool and just drag from down to up. You can see that's covering. I won't do it again. Just drag from down to up. So that's covered the bottom of the image, right? You can also, you see that let's undo it. You see that it is also affecting her. It's also affecting her face a little bit. So you can still undo that. you can either undo that and just drag it a little bit so it stops here. It stops where you want it to stop. Here, right? But what I will do is that I will still drag it up until it goes up like this. It may affect her face a little bit, but you can just have that taken care of. After having it done this way, you come to layers, make sure that you are on this gradient layer here. Then you press Ctrl T, Ctrl T. When you press Ctrl T, what happens is it copies, it selects the gradients, and you can take it up. You hold them Shift and drag up or down. You can drag up or down. So in this case, we'll drag down, right? So it doesn't affect the face. And just because I want it to be a little bit more covered up, you come back to your layers here, and then you just duplicate this layer, just so that this gradient on the lady is doubled up. So just press Ctrl J to copy that layer. Ctrl J, you can see it. Why we are pressing Ctrl J is because of this thing is not well covered up. So Ctrl J to cover it up, right? You can still play around with the opacity. You can play around with the opacity. You can reduce it, and you can still make it bigger.
Hello, please. Hello, Mr. Sally.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I just want to ask just a few questions. One question, like how are you going to do that? If you're going to press a Control J, please.
You said?
I said, like now, how are you going to do that? You are going to press a Control J.
Okay, now
Yes,
the
thank you.
Control J is because
Yes.
you are pressing Control J because of for me personally, I feel like the gradient that was added
Yes.
is not very, let me say, it's not very opaque. It is too transparent because I can still see her at the background. I can still see the where we cut the image. I can still see it there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see. So now that we now have this layer here, see, let me untoggle it so you can see. You can see. So the idea is just to double up. So when you press Ctrl J, it copies the layer, it makes the layer 2, or it duplicates the layer. So you just press Ctrl J to make it thicker. Let me use that word, to make it thicker. So that this covering is not very light anymore. So it's just like here in Nigeria. The idea is that here in Nigeria, you want to buy, let's say you go to the mall and you get something, and it is put in a nylon for you, a plastic nylon, right? Or a plastic bag. Now, sometimes the when you buy the stuff you buy is still going to be visible from the nylon. People can still see what you are holding from that
Yes.
nylon.
Mm-hmm.
So you now tell them that, please double this nylon for me, like double it or give me another one, so that what I'm holding will not be seen through the nylon or through the plastic bag. So in the same case, I feel that this image now is still being seen from behind this gradients, this layer that we added. You can still see it. I don't want these parts. Let me zoom in. I don't want these parts here to be seen. So I now doubled up the layer, so which is Ctrl J, or I duplicated it, Ctrl J. Now that we have done that, you can see that you can't see it anymore. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So that's the idea behind duplicating that layer. Okay.
Okay.
Now that we have this, okay, this one is like this. So let's just change. Let us change. Let us change. Remember, when you are when you are when you are trying to transform anything on Photoshop, if you are transforming this now, if you just drag it, it will just be getting bigger, right? If you just drag it, it will be getting bigger. But if you hold Shift and drag it, the only part that will get bigger is just the part you are dragging. You get what I'm saying, or smaller. So make sure you get that in mind. So we want to just hold Shift and drag this a little bit here and there. And then let's add this text we have here. What other branding meats do you what other branding meats do you know? I want us to be sorry, I want to be fast with this because there's another kind of carousels we're going to work on very quickly. This is too big. Let's make it smaller. Characters 24. So let's make this let's make this 10. Yeah, 10 is okay. 10 is even too big. So I'll make it 8. So what other meats? So we want to align this to the left. So what other myths about branding? About branding do you know? Align all to the left. You can just put this here. Then obviously you can just add your logo to the top here and add this other whatever info you want. Just add this here. So the whole idea is just to show you how that was achieved, right? Now let's go back to Instagram. There's something that we call now. This is okay. Then after doing this, after having your your carousel designed, you just come to file, then exports, right? You now go to artboards, choose artboards to files. That's how you export them. Artboards to files. You want to export, make sure that you make it artboard content only. Don't include overlapping areas. Artboard content only. So you want to choose where you want it to be. Let us put it in match design training. Then okay. So let's call it carousel test. Then you want to save it. You have the option to save it as a PSD. When you save it as a PSD, you can come back to edit it. But say you want to only upload these files, right? You want to only upload these files. You can either upload this kind of files as a JPEG or a PNG. So we're going to use PNG in this case and use PNG 24. It's a much higher quality than PNG 8. So use PNG 24. Then we don't need this. Then run. So you said files were artboard to files was successful. Let's go back to where we saved it as Max Design Training. What happened? You saved as PSD instead of. I think there's something wrong there. There's an error there. Okay, I see where the mistake came from. So you want to make sure that all the artboards are selected, right, before you export. So file, export, artboards to files, and Max Design Training. Okay. So then it saves. It saves. Then you have it in your folder. You have it in your folder. Let us wait once it is done. Okay. So now you have it in your folder. So you can then upload these files to um to your Instagram or wherever it is you want to upload it. Now, look, let's go back to Instagram. We have this kind of this kind of this kind of let's look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Let me change this to mobile. Now look at this. Look at this file. Look at this post now, right? You can see this post now. Like this is the first one, and this is. Let me make it bigger. Can I? Can't. Try to make the screen bigger. But anyhow, this is the first post. This is the first. This is the first page, and this is the second page, right? But if you swipe, if you are doing it on your phone and you swipe slowly, see how it's going to appear here. You can see, as if it is one image. You can see. So this is what we call seamless carousels. Seamless. There is no cut and join. It's basically just. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So there's no cut and join. It's basically just it's basically just a seamless carousel, as if it is just one image, right? Another example is what you have here. Another example is what we have here. Look at this. You can see as if it is just one image, right? So how to achieve that is what you want to do is you want to come back to your Photoshop and then Control N to create a new file. Then now remember that we are working with Instagram, right? So Instagram is 1080 by 1350. That is for one post, right? That's for one page. But if you have in mind to design, say, 3 pages or 4 pages, let's use 4 pages now. Say you have in mind to design 4 pages of a carousel. So it means that you are going to change the width. The height will remain the same, but you change the width. You multiply 1080 by 4. So you want to come to your calculator. You come to your calculator and let's go 1080 times 4. That's 4320, right? So 4 3. So we're going to change it to 4320. 4320. And then you create it. So now this is what you have, right? This is what you have now. What you want to do is you want to come to view. You come to view, then guides, then new guide layouts. Again, come to view, guides, new guide layouts. So what you want to do now is you want to untick this. What you want to do is, remember we said we are designing 4 pages. So you're going to put 4 there in your number of columns, 4, and press OK. So what it does is that it divides your canvas or your artboard into 4 equal sections using the size or the dimensions that we chose. So the first thing you want to do now is you come to your background. You add up your background. Let's use that background. You can add it up, right? Remember, it's a background, so you can stretch it, hold shift and just stretch it out so it fills up every part of the design. You can see. So you just fill it up. So the seamless. Then what you do is you just come and lock it up. So we want to do a similar design to what we just did here. Sorry, not here. What we just did here, right? So let me bring you I want it to be here and here. So common brand mates. I just copy this up, bring it here. I don't want to waste too much time. And now the basic thing is to achieve that, right? To achieve that seamless. So to achieve that seamless look, to achieve the seamless look, and remember that, let's just say this is what want to put out there. You can now add your file. Let us add a file, add your image rather. Let us want to use this lady. Remember, to remove the background, you just come here, come to layers, rasterize layer, then come to properties, remove background. Easy peasy. Okay, we've achieved that. So now what you want to do now is, now that we have that, what you want to, let us just change this to seamless carousel. So this is what you have, right? Now, to achieve, let's say you have you've imputed all of the icons that you want to impute. All of the icons that I want to impute. Say in this case, the logo we're using is RCCG logo. Where's that logo I have here? RCCG. This is it here. Create smart, convert to smart object. So when you make it smaller and bigger, it doesn't affect the quality. Okay. So make this small. You can see that this line and this one, they're on the same lines. Always make sure your alignment is always on point. So seamless carousel ideas. Okay. You can put in some extra detail here. Swipe to see. Changes to the pop-ins. So now, say we have made our design here. You still come here, made more designs here, right? Come here, one. Let's put one there, one. And this is just for aesthetic. You can put number one here. Then I'll now put layers. Then I'll now come to my layers, FX, blending options, and then just come to fill opacity here under blending options. This is just to show you a way of making your design look better. So this is just reduce the fill opacity. Now let me show you something there. If you come here, there's something called opacity here. So if you take this down, it still goes off. But the difference between fill opacity and opacity is that fill opacity is basically the one. Sorry, opacity is everything that has to do with that image, right? Or that objects or elements in your design. But fill opacity is just the fill or the color, right? Or the pixels that make up that that element. In lay terms, let us look at this. This is a rectangle. This is a blue rectangle. Remember that we can change the fill color to nothing, but it's still a rectangle, right? So the same way, we can change the fill opacity of this of any element of this number here to 0. It is still there, but you cannot see it because the opacity because the fill opacity is at 0, but it is still there. The same way, we can change the fill of this one to nothing or 0 or nothing there or no color. It is still there, but it is just no color. So let's give it back its color. So what we are doing with this guy now is that we just come to here, blending options, and fill opacity 0. Then you can now change. You can now come to stroke here and add a stroke. So you see how it's still there. So you can't see the actual color, but you can see the stroke around it, surrounding the what's it called? Surrounding the text. So let's change the stroke to a yellow. Oh no, let's an ash. Something like this. Or a gray rather, I said ash. Let's make it smaller. You see that this is what we have here. But you see, if you check now, I can still come here again and still take down this opacity to 0. You can see it. And now everything now is gone, both the stroke and both the stroke and everything is gone. So this opacity here is affecting, this one here is affecting the layer, right? This one here affects the layer. Why this one, the fill opacity that we checked initially, affects only the color of that, or the pixels rather, of that element. Let's put 1. Let's go to 1. Let's place it at the center. Center. Yeah. Okay. So 1. Make sure you have your space, your required dimensions. So I'm going to just change this to 4 pins. I'll drag this behind just so we can see. Okay. Then you can obviously still even come here, like to this place here, and just change. You can even change the color if you want. It doesn't have to be all. The point is, you just need to be creative. You need to be creative with your design. You are the artist. You just do what you have to do. I can then come here, change the blend mode to something else that would. Let's see that's clear. So the whole point is just to show you how to make seamless carousel. So now let's say we have page 1 done, page 2 done, we have page 3 done, and we have page 4 done. Let us just impute, or let's just place other pages there. Let's place other pages there. We have placed this here now. Then let us place something else here. Say this is what we want. Yeah. This is what we want here. Right, so let's assume this is a fully designed carousel. The whole point is just for us to see how we can make it seamless from this place here. Now, if you check, let's go back to this design here. If you check this one here now, the first one here, you can see that this line, this what's it called? This like glow that we have at the edge of this design, and we have at the beginning of this one here. If you check it, you see it's basically just one line at both, so one rectangle at both sides of the page. So to achieve something like that in a seamless carousel, to do that, let us take away this one. Okay, this one. So to achieve that now, what you just do is you just come here and place your line here, like your glue, place it at the center of both lines, basically. Let's zoom out. So place it at the center of this line here. I'm making it a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller. You can see. And when you have that done, so when you have that done, then you just do the same thing again. Come to your layers and sorry, not drop shadow and outer glow. We are changing the glow to the color to this blue that we have here. Okay, now that we have that, you can then to make it more natural or to make it look better, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, convert to smart object, and then just play around with your glow. So there you have it. So that way, when you swipe, it appears on both sides of the carousel. Okay, now when we have completed our design, after completing your design, what you want to do is you want to come to this crop tool here, right? This is called the crop tool. You want to come here, and then you right click. I come to select slice tool. Sorry, not you come to slice tool. Sorry, the third one, not select. Come to slice tool, right? So when you come to a slice tool, this one you have here, this guide I added here, want to take them away. This guide, just delete this guide. The only guides we now need after designing are the guides that are here. These 4 guides. So when you come to your slice tool, you then come to select from slices from guides here. Slices from guides here. You now click on that. So you see that when that happens, let me undo it so you see what happens. You come to slice tool, and then you come to slices from guides. When that happens, you see that the first one has a 01, second one has 02, 03, and 04. So it has been sliced into 4 different pages. Basically, that's what happens. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now that you have that done, you would then export your image. So to do that, you come to File, Export, and you come to Save for Web. Again, I don't do it again. After designing, you want to come to your crop tool here, and you right click, and you see your slice tool, which is the third one, slice tool, and slices from guides. So when you slice it, you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you come to File, Export, and Save for Web. That's what you do. Okay, so we want to you can obviously come here to rename if you want to rename. Change this to a PNG24, and then you can just go to Done. So what happens that when you do that, it saves. Well, let's save it in a folder that we want. So it saves in a folder. Well, let's go to where. Let us show you how to save it in your intended folder. You come to Save, and then you save it in the folder that you want. Let us go to our design folder that we have been using. So we want to save it here now. So you come to Save, right? So let us go to our. You can see that when you now come to the folder, it is now you now have the first one and the second one, right? The first and the second one. So this is how you create a seamless carousel. You see now that when you upload this one on IG, for example, I can just easily swipe through. It's very seamless that way. So we're going to what we're going to do is you're going to create a seamless carousel. So you're going to create a seamless carousel, right? Basically, you can come to the page. You can come to this page here. Sorry. How do I make it smaller? Profile. Okay, good. You can come to this page here. I want us to recreate okay, what will happen is I'm going to send it to the group in 10 minutes what we're going to recreate, and then you just upload to the group, the assignment group. Questions, please. Any question?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, for me, I said before, I don't have any question, so all that I need ever since, I have not been able to go to the WhatsApp message. So all I need, I just need audio, video, so that I can able to download it on my PC, so that anytime I have a new PC that can take this software, so I can able to go through all the video. So I don't know.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine.
So if I were able to get all the first video for the first lesson to the last lesson, so anytime I have a new PC, so that I can able to install the Photoshop, so that I can able to go through all the lesson again. That's
Okay,
what.
that's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
That's fine.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so that would be the end of our class for today.
Okay.
Thank you
Oh,
for everyone.
excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I want to ask the last question, but like this photo software, can it be also be used for video editing? No.
Photoshop
Yes.
primarily
Yeah.
is used. You can use to achieve some things on video, but no, you cannot. It's not for video editing. No.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you
See
very
you in our
much.
next class.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you. See you on Wednesday.
Yes, we will be here. Yeah.
Stella, hello.
Hello.
Stella, please. What I said before. So I don't know how can I able to get audio past lesson so that so that I can able to install them on my PC here so that when I have a new PC that I can take this shop so that I can able to restart my lesson again. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The the I will update our page, the Google stuff that we put.
I'm not hearing you. Your audio is so low. I can't hear. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me
Not quite.
now? Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll update. I'll update that group.
I can't hear at all. I can't hear. It's okay. Mm.